Hey guys, this is Garies and welcome back to another episode of Survival Verdun. We are back here in the island map and we are continuing our lore episodes today, guys. Just want to make something clear quickly, or not clear, just for the record. These are Chinese notes and Chinese names that we're going to handle today, and I am not good at pronouncing it, so please excuse me where I destroy the names or wreck the names, but I will also try to type it here in the command line at the bottom, so just so that you know what I am trying to convey to you guys. I will also have a chart up here for a few seconds again, and you will see we are on note number 3. We handled Helena, we did Rockwell in the previous episode, and we're going to do Mei-Yin in this episode. The same as last time, I have the notes printed out on paper, so I am working off of notes, and it seemed like that worked better so that I don't fiddle about between two screens the whole time. But in this note, Mei-Yin has a lot to say. Okay, not everything relevant. I'm just trying to convey her story and trying to get the background for the other characters in as well. So there is a lot to handle, and in addition to that, she's handling 31 notes. Helena only had 30 and Rockwell only had 29. So this one is much more. So let's see if we can go through it. So please excuse me where I struggle a bit. It's difficult. The notes over here is also in Chinese, so I have to look down to my paper, so I may lose my points that I go over. So I might take a second or two just to catch up on that. So please excuse the blank moments or the pauses between statements and sentences. I'll try my best to go as smoothly as possible. Okay, so again, as the other NPCs, we do not know anything of previous or past NPCs. We're only handling the current NPC. So for you guys that's joining in, I'm calling these guys NPCs because it's non-playing characters. That's what the NPC stands for. So it's just easier to referring to them as NPC, or NPCs then, in this case. Okay. Just want to make sure all notes covered. Yes. Okay, so let's start with Mei-Yin Li's first note. Okay, first of all, we can see it's in Chinese writing, so we know this character is Chinese. It's written Chinese, so we can assume as much. We don't know if it's a he or a she yet, so we're still assuming at this stage it's just character or the character or however. But the character finds here that he or she doesn't know how they got here or where they are, and that is part of what we are trying to resolve with these lore episodes. Is we're trying to find out how these characters got here and why they are here. So we got a few bits and bobs here and there, why or what's happening, but there's no clear thing yet. Okay, so they're trying to figure that out, but they're trying to focus on a more important question: is how to survive. The character felt fear when discovering a great lizard creature. Okay. So basically they will describe a creature lizard in a bit, but last time they got fear like this was when the yellow turbans were attacking. So this is a part of history a bit, so just to referring to that, the yellow turbans was a peasant revolt in China against the Eastern Han dynasty and against Emperor Ling. So this is where it gets interesting, or not interesting with my pronunciation. So it's just Ling, like that, and the Han dynasty. So just for something nice to know, nice tidbit. Also, the Emperor Ling's real name is Liu Hong. so I don't know why they said Ling, call him Emperor Ling. This was in the year 184 AD to 205 AD. So this, we can assume this character is from, I don't know what date it is in game at this moment, but it's quite hundreds of thousands of years ago. So that's just something interesting for you guys. So let's go on to the next note. Don't want to waste too much time. I believe we already wasted a lot, but anyways, so I hope you guys enjoyed this info, that additional info. Please tell me in the comments if you don't like that additional info, or considering real life and so on, or fun facts, so to say. Like I think also in Helena's notes we did a fun fact regarding the sharks. Please tell me if you like that or not. I will keep them out. I just find it out trying to discover that yellow turbans. Why did they call it yellow turbans? I believe it's relevant to find out about the character's history. So also I couldn't find anything regarding Mei-Yin or Li regarding that. I just, out of interesting sake, I tried to Google that, and also why I got to the name Liu Hong, because I thought it could be something to do with the Li in this and the Liu Hong, but it doesn't seem any connection there. Okay, moving on to note 2. The character is now clothed and armed, and they're hunting the slow birds. Here they have a depiction of a slow bird on a coast for meat and so on, and they are saving arrows for more dangerous creatures, like the lizards with ears like fans and whose spit burns. So from player knowledge now we can surmise that it's a Dylos that she's talking about. And the character always also realizes that they're not alone, because they found other footprints on the beach. Okay, note number 3. During that Yellow Turban uprising, the character learned quite a lot. Where's my mouse? Learned quite a lot during that uprising, and they also learned that men will underestimate women. So here we can surmise, and also by the depiction, that the character is a female. So that men will underestimate women, and in this note she notes, so now we know it's a she notes that 3 men did underestimate her and tried to attack her. She killed all of them and left their bodies just there on the beach. She also realized that the beach is open and that it's not really safe, so she's thinking of moving to the jungle. Okay, number 4. So at least the notes coincide with the depiction that she's making here. So in note number 4, she says she found a village that was raided by a man on a lizard with a stick that spits fire. So in real life we know that that means guns. So she defeated him with the element of surprise. He wasn't aware of her, and she got him and the lizard with arrows. She mentions also that it's actually sad to lose the mount, because that would be very helpful. Going to note number 5. Sorry, I'm counting down here on the page because I don't want to skip notes again as in the first one. Okay, over here it says the surviving villagers allowed her to keep the raiders' armor and weapons, and gave her shelter for the night. What was strange is that she could understand them as if they spoke Chinese. She mentions here that their lips made different movements of the sound that they made. The villagers said it was due to the implants, the metal implants in their arms. So now we kind of have a clue of what the implant does. Up until now, none of the other NPCs describes the implants. So she's the first one describing something to do with the implants. So maybe we can get more of her in the future. Okay, note number 6. Okay, here she states that she tamed her first raptor and that it is black in appearance with white feet, and she immediately named it Wuzai. Wuzui. I believe it's Wuzui. Let me type that quickly for you. It is Wuzhui. Wuzui. So here's another fun fact over here. Let me just get to that note. It's note number 6, right? Okay, so she immediately named it Wuzui. The name Wuzui comes from China's history. It was a black warhorse, also with white feet, and it was a warhorse of King Xiao Yu. Okay, we're going to go back to the typing screen. It's a bummer we can't go to chat. That would be interesting. Isn't there an option to enable chat? Just quickly checking because chat shows team name. Toggle to talk now. Okay, well, let's just use a tab then. Okay, where were we? Wuzui. It was a war horse of King Xiang Yu, just like that. Xiang Yu, who was considered a military genius in the year 232 to 202 BC. So it was about 400 years before the Yellow Turbans attacked. Yeah, about 400 years roughly. Another bit of interesting fact is that name, the horse's name Wuzui, is still a popular name even in today's date, or however you want to put it. This is due to that King Xiang Yu, wrote a poem regarding the war horse, and the poem's name is The Last Song. So if you guys want to Google that, you can. So apparently it's quite still popular, as I said. So that was number 6, and here's a depiction of the raptor. She actually makes it out different than how it really looks, but oh well. Okay, note number 7. Raptors are improving with hunting and attacking formations. She's talking about their attack formations and so on, so we can assume that is what is getting better. And she states that she can fight and she can do battle, but unfortunately she can't craft, and that she's considering trade with other tribes and people that can craft but not trade. So she's willing to give her services to them, and if they can craft her food or weapons or armor or whatever the case may be. So note number 8. Here's a nice depiction again of a battle, it seems. So let's do the note quickly. She offered her services and defended some people. I'm assuming it was a village. After victory, we can assume that she defended the village properly. They gave her more than they promised her, and she states that her and her dinos skills improve with each battle. So they are improving, and their battle wits are improving as well. So note number 9. She was escorting a company. What did I call it? can't get a convoy. She excuse me. She was accompanying a convoy or escorting a convoy to keep them protected, and she states here that she battled a legitimate army. So she lost lost a few dinos, and it seems like the leader of this army was actually knew what he was doing, and what the leader of the convoy also mentioned that few survive an encounter with the new legion. So with player knowledge we know what the new legion is, and here is a flag of new legion that Mei-Yin is depicting here. So not much else info noted in this note. So if we go to number 10, she was called a mercenary for the first time, and she hasn't really thought of being a mercenary just now that she was called that for the first time. And she thinks but to herself that a mercenary usually goes for riches accompanying it, and that she's only doing this for what she needs. She needs building supplies or food supplies or armor supplies or whatever. So it's funny for her that somebody would call her a mercenary. That is important for the story, so even it's a short note, it is there. Okay, after attacking the new legion, she surmised that their fighting force, even though it's quick, it lacks strength. So she started taming larger horned raptors, as she calls them, for the strength that she needs. And she states here that she needs to get more strength to find her way home, and we can assume she wants to get home to China. Okay, so this looks nothing like a horned raptor, and by player knowledge we can assume it's a corner that she's talking about. Okay, note number 12, almost halfway. Okay, so she tamed quite a few other dinos, and she also got a giant raptor. So we can assume that it's a Rex, because if it's a normal raptor, a horned raptor, and a giant raptor, the only logical thing is a Rex. By the way, the name raptor she heard from the villagers, I believe, if I remember correctly now. I could be wrong, so don't quote me on that. But after she tamed all these new dinos, including the giant raptors, she went out searching for her way home, and she discovered that she's living on an island, a cursed island, as she says here, as she just went in circles. And she heard that there's a barrier, an invisible barrier protecting or keeping them confined, even if you go out on sea and also in the sky, so they can't escape this place. So that's why she's calling it a cursed island. Okay, note 13. Here we can see a battle again, and over here some leisure. So okay, so someone called her the Beast Queen of the Jungle. So this is the first time she hears this nickname that she got, and she finds it amusing that somebody calls her that. But she gets why, because she has a lot of beasts and she lives in a remote part alone, and the area is her hunting ground. So but she also mentions that she'd rather be called the Beast Queen than a mercenary. So but she does get where it comes from, at least. Okay, note number 14. I just want to see what's this button do. Ah, I did not notice this. Okay, great guys. So here we have this. So now you can read along with me. So for the guys that follows on the Gamepedia page on a different tab, doesn't see what's going on my screen. There's a button that actually shows you the translation, so that is awesome. So now you guys can follow along with my video. So I will keep this button pressed hopefully every time. Okay, so note number 14. She just talks about here, she wondered if she made her father proud, as her father wanted a son, and her father trained her in secret because it was not good for women or girls to have been trained in military and so on. And she also says here that her mother is angry that she went on to the battles against the Yellow Turbans. So yeah, that's it. So just a little bit background about her, so nothing interesting. Yeah, she says here, would he accept a beast queen instead? Mother wouldn't approve, but yes. Okay, note number 15. Oh, it keeps the button active. Awesome. Okay, here we see something big. This could be still a raptor. It looks at the same. This could either be the Rex or something, but let's see what it says. She states here that she thinks she found a beast that she won't be able to command. He's even bigger than the giant raptors, so it's bigger than a Rex. So in the depiction it looks like the Rex, but oh well. She states here that he's bigger than the giant raptors, and his eyes glowed with hatred when it got bit by his foes. And she states here, if she is a beast queen, then he should be called the Demon King. So we can, as player knowledge, we can maybe assume that it's the Giga, that she's talking about a Giga, because we know it goes into rage mode when it gets hurt. Okay, note number 16. Okay, I believe we're halfway now. Sorry guys, this is taking quite some time. Here she talks about a woman and a scholar named Helena that wanted to observe her diners' mating behavior and feces, and she finds this quite strange that somebody wants to study this island. So this is how she depicts Helena, and this is probably the feces. Wow, it's major mounds of feces. Okay, note 17. She notices that Helena always writes something in a big book, and she wonders what she's writing. And from what we can surmise from what she's writing here, that Mei-Yin is writing here, it seems that she's starting to enjoy the conversations with Helena, as she's saying that she doesn't ask as many questions as she used to, and she's saying here that the camp will soon be quiet as Helena needs to move on. So it almost seems like she's getting sad. But she also mentions here that there's a war brewing in the south, and that somebody will need to hire her soon. Just looking at Eleanor's picture, it looks quite different than what is depicted in the trailers and so on, so quite interesting. Okay, number 18. The war in the south was between the painted sharks and the New Legion. Okay, so she actually depicts normal sharks here. Okay. And at the mention of a New Legion, it seemed like she was a bit hesitant to assist, as the New Legion got stronger since they first interaction with each other. But then again, she also grew stronger, so it seems she will go take them on. Okay, note number 19. She depicts a major battle here. I'm assuming this is Carnos, or do you think it's raptors? Maybe it's raptors. I don't see any horns. Any case, there were cheers as the Legion fled when she attacked from her rear. The sharks were lacking land units, as they are based in the water mostly, and so it seems like this is a great addition to the attack for the painted sharks, basically. So it is a good what do you call it? There it goes. So yeah, it's just a good thing that she's land-based, as where the sharks is water-based. Well, painted sharks a tribe. Okay, note number 20. Okay, here she talks about it seems like her people fears her more, because as she states here, in battle they cheer for her, but afterwards they're only willing to talk to her when they want to do strategy meetings and so on. So she finds it strange that they don't want to talk to her normally, and thinks that she's some kind of monster, grown fangs and horns. Yeah, here she says, sometimes I fear that I have grown fangs or horns without noticing. So that's my summary, that they fear her. But in any case, doesn't matter. 21. During the night, she's talking about an attack that happened during the night on the sharks, and that she wanted to go and aid them, but a lot of confusion came and they started attacking each other, and both lost units in that scuffle. But the worst thing is that the sharks blame her, and she thinks it's the enemy the New Legion's doing, or she knows it. Clearly this is a work of the enemy, so she knows that it was New Legion that did that. Note 22. The shark said they don't need her protection anymore, and that she doubts it. Because they are only water based, and she reckons that the New Legion will win. But now she is getting worried that the New Legion will come after her after they have defeated the painted sharks, and that she now needs more strength, and that she is definitely going to need the Demon King. So yeah, in the last sentence she says, I need to become stronger, I need the Demon King. So she struggled with that the first time, so hopefully she can get it this time. Note 23. Almost skipped the note there, sorry. Okay, so here we find that the Demon King is tamed, but she had a lot of losses. She almost also died, were it not for Wuzui. Seems he's very smart, and he knew what distance to keep from a Demon King, not to get bit and so on, and it seems like he kept her safe. So this raptor was a very good tame that she did initially. So now 24. Yes, now we can see how big it is. That's a flying pterodon. We know it's a pterodon, but they don't say it here. So she finally tamed the Demon King, and now she took it out to test it, and she states that she's glad she did it on a flyer, and that it's wise that she did it on a flyer, because it went into a rage mode after it stumbled off some rocks and got hurt, and she decided that she will keep him rather separate from her other diners, as they got a bit nervous with him around, and that she must use this power with extreme care, because it can be her salvation or her doom. So yes, even with player knowledge, if you think on the PvP servers where Gigas were tamed, you drop bombs on them or hurt the Giga, and the Giga will destroy the base from within. So that was, yes, not good. Okay. 25. Helena hired her to march on a pillar of light, as she states here on a note. But we know it's obelisks by now, but oh well, let's go with the pillars. And and she thinks that that might hold a key, probably to go home. It could be a step home, as she states here, and that in itself is payment enough for her, even though Helena hired her with payment. So Helena needed power. Helena was alone, so she needed someone to help defeat the boss that's in that area beyond the pillars. So if you go to 26, so here we see they defeated the giant ape. Even in the depiction it states that the giant ape with the help of a demon king, and if they didn't have a demon king, it would definitely be a different battle altogether. And she thinks here that since the obelisk of the pillars takes them somewhere, sorry, I thought I heard something now, since the pillars can instantly take them somewhere, that the combined power of all three could take her home, and that this is good reason to get the keys. So that is why she's thinking to continue helping Helena. Okay, 27. The new legion ambushed them as they came back from a pillar, with most of her dinos exhausted and hurt. With the attack, the Demon King went into his rage mode, and she knew that all hope was lost. But Uzui saved her and carried her away, but both of them got very hurt, very bad, and he actually had more damage. So at the end, she's saying that they are alone again. Uzui and I are alone now and barely clinging to hope. So it's just her and the raptor again. 28. Here she starts off, my dearest friend is gone. So she unfortunately lost the raptor. So this is actually quite sad if you read the whole story up until now. I don't know if this the effect is coming over just by the summary of all the notes, but yes, the raptor really helped her out through thick and thin, and now she's very sad about this. But with the injuries from her previous battles, the new attackers overpowered him, but he saved her one last time. And she buried him there where he died, and she promised that she will avenge him and take the head of a leader of a new legion. So she's now out for blood even more. 29. So we have 3 notes left. Oh wow, this is... we don't see this anywhere, but maybe it's this obelisk we are now. Yeah, I believe this is it. If you look at the pillars, or it could be green actually, but doesn't matter. So in 29 it says here, she followed the legion to the last pillar, and she finally identified the leader. So she's saying here, yeah, the way he walks and so on. And even though she could have killed him with an arrow, she wanted to kill him face to face, so he may know that the Beast Queen vanquished him. The Beast Queen vanquished him. So she is really out for his head. She really doesn't want to kill him from a distance, even though it would have been easier and would have killed him, could have killed him right there and then. Okay, so we can take a decision. Okay, so she freed Helena, but regretted it as Helena tried to convince her not to hurt Nerva. And now she finally learned his name, that his name is Nerva. Although she doesn't want Helena to come to any harm, she just knocked her out in fear that Helena would interfere with her revenge and in getting to Nerva. So if we look at player knowledge, we remember that Helena was knocked out. They're already in a command center, and yes. Okay, last note number 31. Okay, we find here that Nirvana and Mei-Yin, oh sorry, I'm hitting the mic, sorry about that. We find that Mei-Yin and Nirvana were in a battle, and after several hits from Mei-Yin's blade, that Nirvana fled. Looking through the glass windows, as we surmise from other notes, okay, even though we shouldn't mention that, she sees several worlds in the distance, one that she clearly has been on. Okay, so here I'm not sure, that it's not clear which world she's referring to. Is it the Earth down below, or is it the ARK that's beneath them? Because there's some glass beneath their feet at some point in the command center where she can see the island that she was on. So is she referring to that? Maybe. I believe that is the most logical option. And then she continues, she says, at the end of the command center there's a terminal on a platform, and she's thinking maybe this could travel to different worlds, but then she finds that it's not the case. She states here the center is clearly made by something with superior technology, and Nirvana can't hide. Doesn't matter which realm he goes to, the Beast Queen will slay him. So she says it only adds another foe to be slain by the Beast Queen. But it seems like Nirvana traveled through the portal. Well, they're talking about a portal, even though in-game there's not a portal. But here's a command center. Here is where the Overseer gets destroyed, and then you ascend. So it seems Nirvana already left, and now Mei-Yin is probably going after him. So there's not a lot of answers or tips or tricks or any hints, other than what she says about the implant, that it makes you being able to understand each other, and just talking about transferring. There's not anything actually clear, but we do see her that she's quite a decent foe for anybody that wants her on it, or is on her bad side. So she could be a proper ally. She's battle wise and so on. So I believe this could be beneficial to Helena in the future. If we look at the chart, we know their paths cross on the other ARKs. So since they are on the same time period on the ARK, even though we only came in afterwards, and because we found each of their notes. So we don't have a lot of answers yet, guys, but hopefully the answers, with the bits and pieces we get here and there, we can get a better picture at the end and combine all the bits and get a clear answer. Well, that's what I'm hoping for, and that is what my goal is about these lore episodes. So sorry, it's not an action-packed episodes, guys. We're just handling lore and story, so hopefully we can get to the end of it. Just a side note on that, guys, I am only going to launch lore episodes each Sunday as the research, or not research, the summarization of all the notes and so on, and trying to see if there's other links that I can bring in without spoiling and so on. So it's a little bit back and forth, and it takes me a good 2-3 hours. So it does take me a bit of time that I can't do every second or third day as I'm trying to now. So I thought, okay, let's do a lore episode once a week, and then I can do the other games on the other days of the week, as that basically is gameplay and so on. So hope that will work for you guys as well. I'm sorry if I can't get it out more often, and I hope you guys get some info throughout it all. So with that, guys, please leave me a like or a dislike, and if you give me a dislike, just tell me why. Give me a hint, or not a hint, a comment or a suggestion how I can improve it, so that I can make the content better and worthwhile for more and more of you guys out there. And also, if you haven't done so already, please remember to subscribe and check out the description for links to my public Discord, public ARK server. Come join me in any one of that. Even if you don't play games, just come have a chat with me. It's also fine. There is already a couple of guys like that that's just there following other games and that I'm also a part of. So anyone is welcome. Nobody will be shunned or anything. But please remember, it's family friendly channel. We have younger persons there, so we don't want to spoil them. So also yes, I don't really want to remember what I want to say on that one, but yes, so we are a family friendly channel and servers and so on. And yes, please come join us, guys. Then I will see you in the next lore episode. Cheers.